How's it going, boys? Monopooma here, and today we'll be talking about Mihoyo's all brand new release gacha game, Zenless Zone Zero. A game which has received a lot of hype over the last year, with its flashy animations, bubbly and expressive characters, and amazing art and music design. Now listen to this track. Alright, cut that. Can't be wasting too much time on the intro, but let's cut the app, let's get into this video, and also, before we start, hit thumb and sub, or I'll get this black man with glasses to touch you with his ween. Anyways, let's get into it. If it wasn't obvious, Zenless Zone Zero is another gacha game made by Mihoyo themselves. Another gacha game where us gamers can get lost in its flashy colors and animations, dynamic and unique fighting style, all leading us back to that big fancy temple button. But besides being another gacha money grab, like most gacha games to be honest, there's a lot that needs to be said about this game, and I'm going to address as much as I can the positives and the negatives. So let's start with the story. So far I've played around 10 hours of this game, and it's like any other gacha. You get spawned into this world and you choose your character, male or female. I personally chose the female because the male character looks kinda bland and boring, nothing really going on for him, except for those massive eye bags on him. Female character just seems pretty chill, great personality, and overall just has much more going for her personality and design wise. After you choose your character, you're in the world of New Iridu, a post-apocalyptic world where your street is known as one of the safe zones. Now these strange zones you see now are called hollows. Hollows are large zones which warp space in selected areas. It's usually not allowed for citizens to go in because it's dangerous, but there are government units who deal with these and hollow raid groups who seek commissions and possible treasures inside. Of course, there's also your typical thugs, official agencies, and your proxies, which is what you are, or a Pathian. Your role as a Pathian is to help guide raid groups through the hollows to get in and out. Easy, right? Oh, sort of. You see, these hollows aren't as simple. You gotta worry about ethereals. These ethereals are created within these hollows themselves and roam around the hollow looking for agencies, raid groups, thugs, or even innocent people who happen to stumble inside the hollow and attack them. There's also a rule with every hollow. Depending on who you are and your age, everyone has a type of natural resistance to a hollow. However, that doesn't mean you can stay forever. You see, staying in the hollow, you're essentially on a timer for when you can get in and get out. You stay for too long and you actually slowly start turning into the ethereals.
Oh, I've mutated into a monster. Rawr, rawr.
Handby, don't bite my hand.
With the main crew we've been following so far, the Hollow Raider, the Cunning Hares, a trio consisting of members Anby, Billy the Kid, and their leader Nicole. There's a secret fourth member, but we won't say, purely for spoiler reasons. But anyways, the Cunning Hares have been given commissions to retrieve a strongbox from the Red Fang Gang. On another continent side, Nicole and her squad raid the Red Fang Gang to retrieve the strongbox. After successfully getting the strongbox, they're blocked in a corner and are forced to go through a hollow. Yada yada yada, some dialogue, fighting happens. One of the Red Fang Gang commanders actually turns into an ethereal. Billy the Kid and Anby are split up with Nicole. Nicole tries to find the Pathians to help them get out, while Billy and Anby are essentially just stuck in the hollow and left behind. While Nicole is trying to find a way to get her crew out of the hollow, she finds the Pathians, or yourself. The way the Pathians work is that they have a small little rabbit or bamboo. They link up to the bamboo and help navigate raiders through the hollow. After finding Billy and Anby and the strongbox, with a risk of actually being attacked by a very special high-grade ethereal. In hopes of the survival of the strongbox and the stuff inside, they find a strange chip and decide to install it into the bamboo. The Pathian is filled with mysterious information and in weird terms of service. Without you knowing, you accept, and now you have to deal with this weird AI and discover its real purpose behind it. All answers to be answered later, but now let's get to other parts of the game. Next has to be the map. Now the map works very differently compared to games like Genshin Impact or Honaki Star Rail. Instead of your normal map, it's split into multiple small territories or different neighborhoods. There's a gamer section, a military section, own facilities, and many more. Instead of a massive area, your location is condensed to a small zone. Everything's very easy to get to and really convenient, basically walking distance. In my opinion, it's a really different and unique way of showing the map without actually showing it. Although it'd definitely be a bit annoying having to travel from different place to place and you won't remember where it is. So that could probably cause some problems. Yeah, man, this game crazy. This game really good. Now quickly, I want to talk about the animation for this game. Before this game even came out, the game was looking amazing. Now after playing about 10 hours, I noticed a large increase in the budget. Obviously noticed the big and small things in the animation. One thing is cutscenes. Sometimes you'll just have people standing, or you get these really cool, dynamic, colorful, comic-style panels. Give me more. Please give me more. Please. I don't know why, I really love seeing comics. Seeing this is actually really great. So a little bit of a small detail is actually just the NPCs. You see, in other gacha games, by Mihoyo especially, when it comes to like dialogue between characters, or just people just walking around the world, their movement is very the same. It's boring, there's no emotion or feeling behind it. But in Zenless Zone Zero, they have more personality to their movement. They sway their hips, they move their arms, their hairs, their eyes. Everything is expressive. Casually walking around 6th Street, NPCs walk past, but they don't walk normally like other Hoyoverse Gacha games. Instead, they walk with more passion, personality. There's so much more expression and feeling in their movements. Yes, it might be simple movement, but it makes the game feel more alive, more realistic. They feel like real people. Characters in Genshin and Honaki Star Rail would casually stand around and walk normally, having the same movement consistently. Oh, don't look at me like that. Jesus, stop. Oh my god. Oh, I'm hard. What? But NPCs have a unique way to move with everyone. It's really incredible how such a small thing can have such an impact on realism in making the game feel so much more alive and real. Even with our main characters, in certain cutscenes, despite being so short, their faces and bodies are talking so much more compared to their actual voices. The facial expressions in every cutscene is amazing and works so well. Plus with the perfect and at times overdramatic body language, with Billy especially, it really feels like Hoyoverse had fun with this project, giving these characters so much life and freedom to express themselves, perfectly matching their personalities and their body movements. It's amazing, and obviously action scenes are incredible. You can tell the ungodly amount of hours they put into these fight scenes is beautiful. Whoever truly did amazing. Also, there's a noodle shop. That animation for this man making noodles, that's like already a better animation than a lot of early Genshin animations. In my opinion though, don't get mad. It's how I feel, tough it up. But still, overall, the animation is incredible. And Hoyo was not scared to go full out with every character, including NPCs, to truly show that passion and love they have for their games and their characters. Now let's quickly get into the gameplay. A really big part of this game, now this also kind of relates back to our main characters and the lore sort of. Now you see, despite picking a main character you want to play, instead of having this OP character who's meant to save the country or galaxy, we just have two normal siblings with abilities to connect and talk through the bamboos. That's it. They run a video store and connect to these guys and help raiders in and out of the hollow. They don't fight. If anything, the raiders are more the main characters in a sense. Bell and Wise are more seen as the people behind the scenes, running the entire operation while their squad is doing the heavy lifting. Don't get me wrong, their job is hard, but they aren't fighting Ethereals, which I kinda like. This shift from having this main character who isn't some isekai badass destined to kill the Demon King, now to chilling behind the scenes and pulling the strings to find answers in all the mysteries in the game. They're the perfect, like, mastermind. They may not seem important, but their jobs as the mastermind are extremely important in ensuring damage control and success of all missions. To be honest, I really like this approach.
You should have been there, man. It was dick and balls everywhere.
You just been invited to the Diddy party. Bring your dicks, bring your balls. Everybody gonna be there. Now the game works like any normal mechanics. You have your run, your sprinting, no jumping. So get used to that one. Your basic attack, your skill, dodge, your ultimate. There's two mechanics that are interesting in combat. Firstly, we'll talk about the dodging. Now, if you watch my Weathering Waves video, which you definitely should go and do right now, when an enemy attacks you and this red indicator comes up, naturally you know an attack is coming. However, instead of dodging normally out of the way, before the enemy lands your attack, you can perform a perfect dodge. It's kind of the same how like Dark Soul rolls when you get like an iframe. Also very similar to Nier Automata dodging system. They're pretty easy to perform and the game basically tells you how to do it. And it's probably your best way to avoid little to zero damage. Next is actually something I think Hoyoverse may have taken some notes from Weathering Waves, but I can't say for sure. But it's actually a parrying system. When you're fighting enemies, there's going to be an orange indicator on this enemy. As soon as they charge and they're about to hit you, you actually want to switch characters by hitting the spacebar. Also, I want to mention that you switch characters using spacebar, not the numbers on the top. I actually prefer this more than using 1, 2, 3, and 4. Having to reach my little goblin fingers there. Now I can easily use the spacebar. Kind of convenient, I like it.
You don't need to tell me.
Listen, don't forget, after a long day at the gym, get a good itch down there, have a sniff. It's a bit of protein if you're really lucky. Now another thing you should know about there's also this kind of a break effect. See, with enemies, they have their main health bar, and the second bar below that. This bar represents their stance, like I guess you could say, or like a stagger meter. When you're fighting enemies, this bar will slowly fill up. Once it reaches to 100%, it will break the enemy's guard and will be temporarily stunned during when that bar is going down from 100% to 0. Once you finish a combo, you'll be able to activate the character switch, where you can switch to either one of your free characters, and you can continue your combo to add additional damage and status bonuses. Although, depending on the boss or the enemy, you can do this up to 2 to 4 times. Now, another quick thing is this small circle here. Essentially what this represents is when you're using a certain character with a certain element, this circle will actually build up that element. Once it reaches to its full, it will actually apply that effect. So for example, if you're using someone like Ambi, if you attack the enemy a certain amount of times, it'll add a shock effect. If you use Nicole, it'll add a corruption. But Blue Lolly Demon, it'll add freeze. And it's more Billy, it'll add physical damage. Now, instead of glazing Zenless for like 10 minutes, I actually want to dive into the negative about this. Yes, there's a lot of overall positive features for this game, but also comes a lot of negatives. Especially during launch, many people on mobile and PC were having launch issues, being unable to play the game, and some opening cutscenes crashing people's games. And also a lot of optimization issues with PS5 too, and mobile and PC. But there's also a big complaint on the 100 free pools. I understand why this seems annoying for new players, and yes, it was free to get these pools, however you do need to grind 30 levels to achieve all those pools. And also logging in every day to ensure you can claim your free daily rewards to get extra guaranteed summons. Now I can see how this may be frustrating, as it gives the false idea that you're getting free 100 pools when you first open the game. But it's also a common occurrence we get with a lot of other gacha games. But for new players, it's definitely frustrating. Another is actually the characters. I think this is probably the one I hate the most, honestly. And it's that half the cast are lollies. Just children. I don't know why, but it's really disgusting to me. Games like Honaki Star Rail, where a big majority of the cast were like adults and like mature characters, was great to me. I don't really want to see kids in the game like this, or even be sexualized. For some reason, Hoyoverse has decided to have half the cast lollies. And I don't know why. It's really concerning for Hoyoverse to be doing something like this. There's like maybe 4 or 5 actual legal characters in this game, and 2 of them are not even fucking humans or animals. It really says a lot that half a cast needs to have some weird lolly childrens in this game to get like some weird demographic. I don't know what it is, but it's disgusting in my opinion. I don't like it. Plus the TV system is definitely a mixed feeling, if I feel in my opinion. I didn't talk about it in the gameplay because I didn't know how I entirely felt about it. It definitely hinders and restricts the freedom of movement and adventure players have when doing missions like this. Having to switch between TVs and then dialogue, I feel sometimes can definitely interrupt that perfect flow of the story. Doesn't bother me too much, but definitely a couple of people will feel like this. Now the difficulty is something I feel like should definitely be addressed. I feel like no matter what mission you do, everything's going to be an absolute breeze. If you just perfect dodge everything, parry everything, you're not going to really take any damage at all. Everything's really easy and not much of a challenge. I went into a hollow with level 7 characters. The enemies were level 15 and I still cleared it with ease. It may have took a little longer, but I still cleared it with ease. I think Zenless Zone needs to add like enemies where you're doing certain combos, certain enemies are actually able to counter that combo and stun lock you, so they can even get pop shots off. Instead of always just being able to combo chain all the time, it feels way too easy, especially with the pairing and perfect dodge. If there's a system where they can counter us back and we're forced to plan it out and strategize how we fight, it'll bring much more challenge and difficulty to the game, where it's already so easy. Well, that's it, boys. I believe I've covered as much as I can in this game. I definitely missed a couple things here and there. Let me know in the comments what I missed. But overall, Zenless Zone Zero definitely without a doubt is one of Mihoyo's best visually appealing and animated gacha games. In terms of lore, it's a pretty good story. I'm really invested at the moment. It definitely feels easier to digest compared to Genshin and Honkai and confusing mindfuck of a lore. With all these unique methods of approaching the story with the main characters and its raid groups, it's really a new exciting approach to the whole gacha scene. Plus with its amazing soundtrack with every character, background music, battle music, every song has been able to always keep this amazing upbeat or chill vibe in any scenario. And it's so perfect for the themes and style of the game. It's amazing character dynamics, how every character has amazing chemistry with each other, ease of being able to bounce off each other with ease in every dialogue. Their amazing relationships and personalities all work so well together. And everything else is pretty basic and standard, as we all know. But like I said before, I think that's everything for today's video. That's been me. Please like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Oh, sometimes I suck on a penis. Yeah. I suck a penis like I never have before. Oh no, I suck on a penis. Yeah.